One way to extend a sentence and make it more complex is to use a resumptive or a summative modifier. And let's see what this means. We'll start here with the resumptive modifier. So what we have here in the first sentence, we read, Frank took a closer look at the cows in the oil painting, a painting his grandfather had bought from a Venetian gondolier. What we've done is at the end of our first main clause here, we have taken this word painting and we have repeated it, a painting, and then we have constructed a phrase or a clause around it. So a resumptive modifier then is very simply the repetition of a word at the end of the main clause, and we repeat this word then at the beginning of a new phrase or clause to extend the sentence. That's really all it is. So we resume, you might say, that's why it's called resumptive. We resume or start over our sentence, or start up again, I guess is the best way to describe it, and then we continue to the end. The second one is similar. So Bartholomew's mind always freezes when the internet is slow, when he can't get to Facebook or check his email, and you can see here that when is repeated. Now in this case, our main clause keeps going at the end because this bit here, the resumptive modifier, is actually between dashes, or you might say between brackets. So this is kind of a variation on the theme, but the same idea applies. A resumptive modifier is the repetition of a word to extend the sentence, to add extra information, and we construct a phrase or a clause around this repeated word. We can also do this in a slightly different way. Instead of repeating the word verbatim, we use a different word to summarize what came up before. So in this case we read, Sophie's room was a disaster, a complete and utter mess, and you can see here that mess, it doesn't repeat disaster, but it summarizes what came before. So this is called a summative modifier. This one summarizes. Remember how to spell this. And then the last one is also a summative modifier. And here we read, Kimberly gave her husband a Porsche, a present he wasn't expecting at all. So in this case, the word present repeats or actually summarizes the word Porsche, and this one as well is a summative modifier. So that's the basic idea then. With either of these modifiers, you take a word or an idea, you repeat it, and you construct a phrase or a clause around it that extends the sentence.